All right, here we are. Welcome to the weekly industry update. We have a good amount of activity happening, um, and we are almost through the summer, right? This summer is supposed to be kind of our rebound summer. However, we are looking at the fall being, you know, nice and productive, just simply because, as you guys will see, we may have some interest rate reductions that might stimulate more buyer activity. And so that and seller activity for that matter. However, I do know that, seller activity has been actually on the rise. So definitely we should start seeing more buyer activity if we see some of those interest rates, or if we see the interest rates go down. And I was going to say some of those predictions to actually come to fruition, right? The predictions of um, we're going to have more, or the interest rates are going to go down. The Fed is going to cut the rate, that kind of thing, right? So we'll see if that actually does happen. Um, so reminder, be TCPA compliant. Make sure that you're that. Do not, hey, Oscar, good morning. Make sure that you're TCPA compliant. Make sure you're not calling anybody that you shouldn't be calling. All right. That's just the bottom line. All right. In LA County, let's take a look. LA County, for sale properties is up 3.6% over last month, and up 35% as compared to last year. So we definitely are seeing more inventory than we did last year, which is just beautiful. Sold properties are down 70.5% over last month. Now, remember, you guys, now keep this in mind. The month over month comparison is really not a big deal. And I'm going to repeat that throughout this time, just simply because more people will be coming on. I have to repeat that. So I'm sorry for my on time folks. But you see this 70% less than last month. It's the first 2 days of the month. This is the first and the second. You see August 1st and 2nd as compared to July 1st and 2nd. So it's really not um, enough data to analyze. Okay. Will we all agree with that? Am I the only one, or because I would like to hear you guys' input on that. Do we agree that that's just not enough data to analyze as a comparison?
I would think so.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then year over year now is what we really want to analyze, right? We want to compare year over year, which is only a 1.1% decrease, right? As compared to last year. So closings have only declined 1.1% over last year as compared to last year in LA County. Pendants are down 66.8% over last month. However, they are only down 1.5% as compared to last year. Okay. New listings are down 41.7% as compared to last month. However, they are still up 13.7% as compared to last year. Okay. Average active price is down 3.7% over last month. However, it is actually down 8.1% overall. So sellers in LA County are asking on average 8.1% less than they did last year. However, as you can see, they're closing for 7.1% higher than they did last year. Okay. So keep in mind, if you're selling in LA County, you might see prices look a little bit lower, but more than likely, on average, you're actually buyers are paying a little bit more, 7.1% higher than they did last year. And of course, remember, LA County is one of the biggest counties out there, especially in California. And so when you look at that, um, you got to keep in mind that you're talking about Palmdale, you're talking about all over. So you've got to be hyper local when you're looking at these numbers, because you don't want to advise your buyers incorrectly or your sellers incorrectly. All right. And then looking at months of inventory, right? And I'm not even, because that's just wild, right? 249.9% increase over last month. That's just wild. So let's look at our annual statistics. We're 38% higher than we were last year. Last year we were at 2.9%, 2.9 months of inventory, and we're currently at 4 months of inventory. Okay. Average days on market, no change from last month. However, a 20% increase over last year. So last year we were at 30 days on market. Currently, we're at 36 days on market. All right, and sold versus original list price, 3.2% increase over last month. Last month we were at 95 days on market, currently 98. And then a 1% decrease as compared to last year. Last year we were at 98% of list price, currently at 97% of list price. All right, let's go to Orange County. For sale properties is up 5.1% over last month and up 40.7% as compared to last year. Sold properties is down 52.6% over last month. However, down 3.5% over last year. So a very small amount of decrease over last year, but still not moving in the direction that we want, right? We want it to be moving in the positive direction where we have more closings than we did last year. Okay. Pendants are down 2.5% as compared to last year. Again, we want to see that number in the positive, not in the negative. Okay. But they are small. They are small, 3.5%, 2.5%, but they're still that's still in the wrong direction, right? New listing inventory is up 11.2% over last month. Over last year, which is good, right? That's what we want to see. Average active price is down 4.7% as compared to last month and down 10.4% over last year. So sellers in Orange County are asking 10.4% less than they did last year. However, as you can see, they're receiving 5.1% higher than they did last year. So in Orange County, again, sellers are still receiving, sellers are still getting appreciation, right? And they're receiving a decent amount. 5.1% is in that normal range of appreciation, which is great. Okay. Months of inventory is up 45% over last year. So last year we were at 2.2 months of inventory. Currently we're at 2.9 months of inventory. So definitely moving in the right direction, getting more inventory. However, this is still a seller's market. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you differently. This is still a seller's market. Average days on market is up 29% as compared to last month. Last month, we're at 31 days on market, these first 2 days on the market. Currently, it's 40 days on market and up 34.8% as compared to last year. So 23 days on market last year and 31 days on market currently. So you're seeing that increase, right? And why is that? Because there's more inventory on the market. You're going to have more days on market if you've got more to choose from. Okay. Even though we're still in a seller's market, it's still going to increase the amount of days on market. And then sold versus original list price, a 2% decrease. So last year, sellers were receiving 99% of list price, currently 97% of list price. Okay. Riverside County. All right. For sale properties is down 1.8% over last month and up 27.7% over last year. So again, we've got more inventory on the market than we did last year, which is great. Okay. Sold properties, again, first 2 days of the market down 67.6%. However, the overall comparison, the year-over-year comparison is only down 3.5% over last year. Okay. So 3.5% decrease over last year for sold properties. Pendants are down 1.8% over last year as compared to last year. So these numbers are very similar to Orange County numbers. They are slight decreases in the market overall, sold pendants, right? However, in all areas for sale properties, so inventory has improved. And then I know we're going to see new listing inventory, although it's not as big as in other counties. In Riverside County, you still are seeing 6.6% increase over last year in terms of new listing inventory. Okay, so that's a good sign. Average active price has gone down 2.1% as compared to last month. Remember, we're just comparing the first 2 days of the month, and then down 3% as compared to last year. So overall, in Riverside County, sellers are asking 3% less than they're receiving, or 3% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 1.5% more than they did last year. So although it is a very small amount of appreciation, it is still in the right direction for sellers, right? That it is 1.5% appreciation. Months of inventory has gone up 33.4% over last year. So last year we were at 2.7 months of inventory, currently at 3.6 months of inventory. So in Riverside County, definitely moving toward the normal market, right? Where we're seeing that we're going into that 4 months of inventory range. Once we get into that 4 months of inventory range, that is considered moving into that normal market, 4 to 6 months. And then beyond that, you're looking at a buyer's market. Okay. So you go from seller to normal to buyer to normal to seller, right? That's the pendulum swing, if you will. Okay. All right. Average days on market is gone up 11.8% over last month. Again, first 2 days of the month. So we are not, again, paying too much attention to that. A 21.4% increase over last year. Last year, we are 42 days on market. Currently, we're at 51 days on market. Sold versus original list price has seen a 1% decrease over last year. So 97% of list price was last year. Sellers are receiving 96% of list price this year. Okay. Now on to San Bernardino County. For sale properties has seen a 30.1% increase over last year. All righty. Sold properties, a 2.3% decrease as compared to last year. So we are actually selling 2.3% less properties than we did last year in San Bernardino County. And we're seeing that across all the counties, right? Everybody's in the 1 to 3% decrease range. And those numbers, actually, we can rebound from those numbers. Those are small numbers, right? It's not 5, it's not 10, it's 1 to 3%. So we can rebound from these numbers. Okay. Pendants are down 2% as compared to last year as well. So again, we've got to start seeing some improvements in these numbers. And like we talked about, we may see some improvement in these numbers because the interest rates may end up falling. And if you guys have been keeping track, they actually did fall a little bit last week. The job market reports was worse than expected. It made the interest rates fall just a little bit, from 6.875. Some are seeing 6.75. So just a little bit of a decrease in the interest rates, but every little bit helps, right? And they're talking about in September when the Fed meets that we might see a rate cut. And I'm getting into my news, my industry news. I'm not trying to do that just yet. So let's keep going. Average active prices declined 2.6% over last year. Again, sellers on average in San Bernardino County are asking 2.6% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 4.4% more than they did last year. Okay. So for sellers, great. They're seeing a normal amount of appreciation. For buyers, I also say this is great because it's not like a huge amount of appreciation. It's not like 10% appreciation, right? It's like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, in San Bernardino County, on average, house prices have only gone up 4% over the last year. So it's not this dramatic jump that the news would have you think, right? So house price appreciation has definitely slowed down, right? Especially because we have gotten more inventory. Okay. All right. And buyer demand has slowed as well because of the interest rates, right? All right, months of inventory has gone up 34.2% over last year. So last year we're at 3.5 months of inventory. Currently we're at 4.7 months of inventory. So we've seen in San Bernardino County for a few months now that we are definitely in the normal market space. Okay, so we're going to see longer days on market, right? We're going to see more inventory on the market. We're going to see sellers concessions. We're going to see buyers being able to take advantage of that, right? So that and buyers not being in a multiple offer situation. Okay. A normal market really should mean that what the seller asks, that's what they get, as long as they're not being, if they ask a competitive number, that's what they should be able to get, right? If they're asking something astronomical, then no, they're not going to be able to get that because buyers are going to have choices. In a normal market, buyers may not just have to choose that one piece of property as compared to a seller's market when things are just flying off the shelf, right? Okay. All right, average days on market. Remember, these are the first 2 days on market. So it's gone up 17.5%. Last month, we were at 40 days on market the first 2 days of July, currently at 47 days on market the first 2 days of August, and gone up 21.1% overall. So as compared to last year, we're at 38 days on market, currently at 46 days on market. And sold versus original list price has gone down 2%. Last year, we were at 99% of list price, currently at 97% of list price in San Bernardino County. All right, so let's go into our upcoming events. So this week, first week of August, we've got today, Power Hour. So this is all week long. Excuse me. We're doing Power Hour. We're going to focus on lead generation. So today, from 11 to 12, we're going to be doing Power Hour, calling, lead generating, Tuesday at 10, Wednesday at 11, Thursday at 11, and Friday at 10. So come on out, come hang out right here in the bullpen area and make your calls, right? We want to encourage everybody to come out and make your calls. That's what we have to do, okay? All right, group coaching today at 12. We're focusing on listings. We're focusing on all things related to getting listings. If you have the listing, you have the leverage. If you have the listing, you get the buyer, or you can get the buyer. You can do the open house. You can get more clients. You can be visible in the neighborhood. The benefits of listings are endless, you guys. And so we're going to be really focusing on today how to get listings. Okay. All right. Conversations and role play at Tuesday at 9 a.m. with Diana Carbajal. Okay. So we just got word, literally as I was turning this on, that Ed unfortunately has a health issue. You guys, if you're prayer people, pray for him, please. He's okay. But he does have some health issues that he's got to have surgery today. So again, please pray for him. He will be out all week. So we will not have broker classes this week. We are looking at some different things that we could do to supplement those timeframes and offer educational substitutes. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. We do have our tech workshop on Wednesday with Martha at 1 p.m. And we also have Dial for Dollars on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Thursday at 2 p.m. with Victor. All right. So we do have that going on.
Randy?
We also, yes.
What can we just play one of those recordings that Ed puts on YouTube for us on the days he'd normally be there?
Absolutely. Great idea, Oscar. We can do that.
Plus, we're working on listings, so let's do the listing one.
Absolutely. I like it. Thank you for that. So we will do that. We will play the recording. We're supposed to have Q&A tomorrow. I think it's going to be Q&A with me. So we'll do Q&A tomorrow. It'll just be Q&A with me. So if you guys have questions, you guys have anything that you want to ask, please come and definitely I'll be available to answer any questions that you guys may have. I may even have, if he's available, Jorge did. If you guys missed Jorge's class on Friday, it was great. Jorge and Anthony with Pacific Coast Title have a ton of resources, and I mean a ton. I vegged into it over the weekend because there's so much content that they have available to us. I have a whole page that I wrote down of things that I want customized with my information on it. But they have one website, you guys, that is pacificcoastagent.com. pacificcoastagent.com. And all you have to do, let me share. You guys mind if I share that with you guys real quick? Are you good? Because I did.
Yes.
Okay, I did run quickly. So I want to share this with you guys though, because I just thought it was awesome. And I think I still have it up.
So,
Because what it does,
oh, so I
what
shouldn't
impressed me
date
so
your phone yet
much
to 504.
was that Tasha, do me a favor and mute yourself.
Oh, sorry.
You're good, you're good. What I liked about it so much is that once you put your information in, you guys can have customized content, right? And you don't have to wait for it. So let me share my screen here. And some of the flyers themselves are customizable. So you see here, these particular flyers, this is the toolbox right here, right? So this one right here says buy down or buy later. Okay. So the whole thing is don't play the waiting game. If affordability has you waiting for a lower rate, consider the potential benefit of finding the right home at the right price today versus buying next year. And here's the cool part. I get to customize the asking price. So you see how they always start with this 350, which who in LA County, Orange County, Riverside County, any county is buying for 350 unless you're in Hesperia or Bakersfield or somewhere, right? So if we put 600 or 650 here, and I'm going to put 5% because that's more realistic. And then if I say compute, look at that. It then creates the flyer for me and puts the information that I want it in there.
We
right?
don't see it. We don't see that.
Oh, you don't see it?
I see it.
I was about to say, there's no way. Oscar, hang on.
Let's see.
Let me share it again. Do you see it?
Okay, I see it now. On the
Okay.
left.
On the left. Yep, on the left. So that's, you guys see that, that's all the information now. And I was able to change this with, with the numbers that I wanted, which is what I thought was the best. Now you could put share on here. If I download the PDF, but you see, I have all these different ways to do it. I download the PDF, and because, can you guys see this? Are you guys seeing the PDF?
Yeah. I'm seeing that.
Okay. So you guys see the PDF. It's got, so you guys can download this, but there's, let me see if I can now go back. Okay. All right. Now, are you guys back to the Pacific Coast One agent? Are you guys back to that now?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. All right. So you guys can use this, and you guys can, and it has your information on it. Okay. This is more of a social post right here. This one is more of a social post, but you guys can do a ton of stuff in here. Where you have, see, it says, but these are all Facebook posts. Okay. These are all Facebook posts. But if you went to buyer, seller, all of this, I mean, you guys can do a ton of stuff. So just I'm telling you now. Oh, and you have to have the premium. That's why, I'm sorry, I'm in the premium. The premium, you guys, is $10 for the year. That's it, $10 for the year. He gives you the free account, but it's $10 if you want the premium, and it's just $10 for the year. It's $9.99. So at any rate, and you could put your information on the bottom. So these are not just these aren't just things that have don't have our information on it. It has our information on it. It's just taken a long time, I guess, because I'm on Zoom. But I'm telling you, I was in here and I was just extremely impressed. Personalized videos that you guys can do, that you guys can post, that at the end has your picture, your logo. You guys can even take the script and re-record it yourselves. Okay. So I'm just telling you, there's so much content that we have our hands on, that we don't have to go out and pay for it. Okay. Don't pay for content. You got content you won't even use. Okay. But that's something that they shared with us on Friday, and it was great. So, all right, there we go. So we do have Bold coming up on, I'm sorry, I'm using the old one. It's August 21st. Everybody should be going to first day of Bold. Everybody, it's free. So sign up, register right here, use the QR code, first day of Bold. Everybody should be going 9 to 2:30 in Whittier at the KW Whittier office. August 21st. Okay. It's going to be amazing. And everybody should be there. If you are ready to get into production, if you are ready to change your mindset, hey, this is it for you. Okay. This is it for you. All right. We also have our bonfire right after Bold on August 21st. It is in Boca Chica Beach in Huntington Beach, 4 to 9 p.m. We have a really great time out there. A lot of good fellowship, a lot of good food. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you make it out. And then if you are needing to still take Ignite, it's on repeat and rinse and repeat. Here's the QR code for the West Coast, 6:30 p.m. So go ahead and sign up if you still, it's offered every single week, you guys, every single week. All right. And Millionaire Real Estate Agent was great. I listened to it today. This is Sandra Rath. She is a $140 million producer, and she does it through delivering newsletters. There is so many ways to be successful at this business, you guys. Don't let anybody tell you differently. This business is beautiful because it is not one size fits all. We could do this business wildly different from each other and be successful. She does it with newsletters. She started obviously a long time ago, but she now distributes 25,000 newsletters every single month. All righty. And her biggest piece of advice is be consistent. Be consistent. She listen to it. It is great. She gives the whole plan. If you guys want to get the notes, it's mreanotes.com, mreanotes.com. Okay. So definitely fill that out. Make sure you get the notes from it. And then Airbnb is now the official, they've got an official sponsorship, or I'm sorry, referral program partnership with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So if you go mreanotes.com/Airbnb, you guys can sign up there. You can get referral fees. You can get referral fees from your clients who sign up their properties for Airbnb. So it is a really cool opportunity for you to make more money, right? If you have clients who ask you, oh, should I do Airbnb? You can actually do an analyzer. They have an analyzer program on there for you to help you with that so that you can help guide them. And, if they're considering doing Airbnb. So this is a great opportunity. Okay. So make sure you sign up. It's the referral program with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's mreanotes.com/Airbnb. And then the One Thing podcast came out, how ordinary couples lead extraordinary lives. So if you have a significant other and you are working on your chemistry and working on how to work daily in alignment with one another, great podcast. All right, let's get to our industry news. So in the news, tariffs, the president, basically they said that they're unveiling a whole new set of tariffs. And they were supposed to take place on July 31st. Most of the countries targeted now have until August 7th, which is Thursday, to reach trade agreements. And Mexico, I believe, has until well, they've got a 90-day reprieve. So they've got a 90-day grace period right now. But everybody else, including our largest import partner, which is Canada, they are, I think their tariffs is something like 30%, you guys. Okay. And they are our largest importer of building materials. And so they are anticipating that that could have a huge impact on new development, on construction costs. Okay. And in addition to that, the jobs, and is that, I think that's my next one. Yeah, the job reports came in weaker than expected, like I was telling to you guys earlier. And so that also is, is of concern, right? So those two things coming into effect, especially the job reports, they're saying that it may be enough to encourage the Fed to cut the rates when they meet in September. Okay. Now on the brighter side, earlier in the week, the VA home loan bill, it was signed into law. And that's supposed to give VA homeowners, if they're more than 90 days late on their mortgage, helping them to do a modification or some level of forgiveness, helping them also with home improvements. So that was a huge win for the National Association of Realtors, as well as the Road to Housing Act was advanced. And again, that is supposed to be giving some relief to builders on costs, that is supposed to be giving first-time home buyer incentives. So there's a lot of, and we're going to post this, actually, we're going to post the Road to Housing Act. We're going to post that in the hub so that you guys can read all about it, so you can understand what that act is that is trying to be pushed through. It's supposed to, again, be here to help with stimulating our housing development and home ownership. Okay, because they realize that we've got an issue, obviously. So let's see. Yep. And then, like I mentioned to you guys, the housing, the employment report was weaker than expected. And actually they're looking at, and it was crazy. It was something like there were 11,000 jobs, but it was reported that there were 172,000 jobs. And I'll share that with you guys. It was crazy. There was some discrepancy, bottom line. There was some discrepancy between the June report and the July report. There was just huge discrepancies. And because of that, obviously, and what they are saying is that it's politically, it was done for political reasons and things like that, to make the president look bad and stuff like that. But bottom line is that the reports are weaker than expected, which means that, and they're saying that may be enough to stimulate or encourage the Fed to cut the rate. And also mortgage rates have already fallen just slightly, like I mentioned to you guys. But we will see, because you got to look at the job reports, but you also got to look at inflation and what inflation is doing, right? And you look at those two things coupled together, and that's what's going to, and actually other items like the tariffs and how that's impacting costs and things like that, which has to do with inflation. So when they all look at all of this stuff together, that's how the Fed comes up with if they're going to cut the rate or not. Okay, they're looking at the overall health of our economy and if something is needed to be done. If nothing's needed to be done, then they're not going to do it. Okay, if they feel like something needs to be done, then they will. Or if something's out of whack, right, then they make a change. So we'll see, and we'll be monitoring that. And as should you guys, right? I think that is it. Any questions? Because there's a lot, A lot. I knew we had a lot on the back end versus on the front end. But any questions about any of the reporting, any of the other tools that I mentioned? You guys good?
Yeah, Brandy, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I've been in and out. The thing that Jorge provided, do we just check in since we didn't show if we weren't there on Friday to get the tool? Or how do we access?
if you weren't there on Friday, then actually I'm gonna see if he will do it again. Because we do have, like I mentioned, you guys, because there's more of you on now. Ed, unfortunately, is not doing, he's doing okay. He has some health issues that he's got to see about. And so because of that, we are not having any of our broker classes this week. We will have Q&A tomorrow, and that's going to be with me. We will have we are going to play his recordings on Wednesday and Thursday, thanks to a great idea by Oscar. And or we may get another broker. We have another broker, access to another broker, very high level broker.
Well, it wasn't my thing.
And he might be able to do a class, but we'll see. But bottom line is that if you're praying, people pray for Ed, please. And we will keep you guys posted. We did have to make some changes though to our calendar. Okay. And in terms of going back to your question, Danila, what we'll do is I'll get Jorge to, if we could bring back, his recording on all these tools, or bring back him to come in and talk about the tools. If there's something that you need right now, call me, just give me a call. The things that I just showed you guys, give me a call and I will make sure that you guys get access to those, to that stuff. I'm telling you guys, there's more content than you could imagine. It's a gang of it. Okay. Like I said, I vegged out on it over the weekend, because there's things that I want to put in my 36 touch, on command. So a lot of stuff for us to have. You shouldn't be paying for content because you already have it at your disposal. Okay. With Pacific Coast Title and all their tools. Any other questions? Oh, Connie, did you have a question, my dear? Oh, no, you didn't. I'm sorry. That's
No,
my
sorry, by mistake. Sorry.
No worries. Not at all. All right, guys, have an amazing week. Go out there, be productive. You guys, we have absolutely Maurice. Let me, Hampton at gethampton.com. Hampton at gethampton.com. Well, let's see. What was I going to tell you guys? Oh, Power Hour. Got it. Power Hour is today at 11. We're going to be calling together. So make sure you get in the office and start your calling. That's 11 today. It's going to be on 10 tomorrow. So we're going to be calling together, you guys. So come on in, make it a point to lead generate this week. Make it a point to talk to people that you have never met before. Talk to people that you don't know. Follow up with people that you do know, right? That's our job, is to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I know you guys have all heard that. So follow up, all right? All right, have a great week. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome, Connie. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're very